Hello everyone. Hi and happy Friday. A very warm welcome to the Academy. My name is Angela and I'll be your host for today's session. And a bit of introduction about Academy session. It has been the pillar for communities learning and I'm so excited to have the first regional speaker, Yuko, the creative director from Aleph Indonesia, to share some tips and tricks on how to communicate effectively in professional settings. And by the end of the session, we will have some time to get down to the Q&A, where Yuko will answer some burning questions from all of you. And during the presentation, if you have any inquiries for Yuko, feel free to use the YouTube comment section to drop comments, thoughts, and questions. So without further ado, I will pass the time to our very special speaker, Yuko Morokuma. Over to you, Yuko.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Angela, for the brief introductions. I'm Yuko. I'm going to bring the topic of fearless speaking at today's Academy. So first of all, we all agree that all the great speakers out there were bad speakers at first. So I want to tell you a little bit of my experience working at Aleph. This is the most nerve-wracking experience of public speaking that I have here. Most of you have heard this story probably before. If you come to the summit about 2 or 3 years ago, I was told by us to speak in front of not 1, not 2, but 3 C-level bosses at Permata. And it was like my second month here at Aleph. And we are presenting to this huge update of Permata Mobile X. And lots of what if comes in mind. What if I fail? Will I let everyone down in the room? And long story short, I managed to do the presentations and everything went well. I'm not doing a very good job there, but I think I'm doing okay. They're happy with the update. So a little bit of the brief stories, but enough with the good stories. But I want to tell you the most embarrassing story of public speaking is when I have to present with Sion team, marketing team. It's a story about Permata Mobile X. We were presenting to the same crowd, but this time I was not doing a very good job here. My first 10 seconds I speak, I felt tremendous anxiety, my mind went blank, my heart started racing, lots of and definitely lots of quiet moment. And I still remember Wendy's face was like almost shaking his head. And if I were him at that time, I will take over the presentations. So at that time, I felt very panicked, embarrassed of myself, exposed, failed because everybody was looking at me. And those are the feeling I had as I was leaving the room after the presentations. So what am I telling you this story? I know I'm not alone in my anxiety in communications. If you have ever given a spontaneous feedback, given a presentation, spoken in a meeting, or even asking someone on a date, you know what anxiety feels like. And research said that 85% people are anxious in high stakes speaking situations. And quite frankly, I think 15% they said they're not feel that anxiety when they present, but I think those 15% are lying. But I see in here, especially Aleph Indonesia, that I think Wendy and Pauline already master the anxiety, how we can actually come with our anxiety, like come to peace with our anxiety. So we must act to manage our anxiety. I don't think that we can truly overcome our anxiety, nor we would want to. Anxiety is actually very helpful. If you see me right now, there's this big anxious in me. That's what gives me energy. Like I'm talking to you right now, it's very, very big energy. So it gives us big energy. It gives us focus. It gives me confidence to talk today. So, but we must manage it so it doesn't manage us. Turn this adrenaline that I'm having right now. I'm turning this huge adrenaline into passions to help you demonstrate to your audience why what you have to say is important. So you can think my heart is racing, my mind is blank, I have butterflies in my stomach. Then tell yourself that, oh, this is normal, this is okay. That just make sure that this butterflies in your stomach will turn you into this focus, this energy, this confidence in you. Next is there are many ways that you need to speak on professional settings. It's not just on presentations, just a simple discussions with clients where in here, most of us used to just go to client's office, work at client's office, and they will ask you and come you with a lot of questions. And not just with clients, but with internal as well, internal discussions with designers, with developers, with your boss. So there's a lot of ways that you need to speak on professional settings. And I'm giving you these tips today. And this tip to this day, it's still something that I learned doing. Not saying that I'm not the best speaker. I'm best speaker yet, but right now I'm growing. So take a deep breath before you start. So one is this is a trick that I learned. So this tips is basically from me purely on the presentation day. I like to wake up early in the morning to just meditate, think of all the good things, visualizing myself delivering a successful speech can actually help me perform better. So spend a few minutes imagining, just like close your eyes, imagining things going so well. It sometimes it helps, and sometimes I do practice as well. I usually wake up someone in the middle of the night. It's either my mom or my sister to accompany me practice what I'm doing. And when that someone doesn't feel sleepy or bored when I wake them up at 4 in the morning, then I know I'm doing a very good job. And most of the time, after I'm doing my practicing, I would just roaming and pacing the hallway of my home. Thankfully, it's quite long, my home. So I was just like walking and rehearsing my presentations by myself. That's the first thing I will do early in the morning at 4 a.m. on the first day of presentations, or even just like a small gathering sessions with people. That's what I usually do. So, and then find a time. A second one is find a time where your brain active the most. Usually for me is before I go to sleep. Like I sleep quite early, I say. Sometimes if I'm fortunate to do that, like around 10 or 11-ish, my mind, if the next day, if I have a presentation, then my mind will roam around thinking what I'm going to say the next day for the presentations day. And then usually that is the time where I find the best and wise things to say. So when I do, what do? I don't just like, oh, okay, just put it in my mind and just do it tomorrow. No, I usually will take out my iPad and just keep it beside my bed, and I say it out loud what I have in mind. So I say it out loud and I record it, and I will review it the next day when I wake up, and I will gather my notes. So I will listen to the recording and I will just gather my note and create a structures of what I want to say. That is a very helpful trick that I learned, because for me it is the best time my brain active is actually when I'm going to sleep. Like I was thinking like tomorrow I can say this, I can say this, I can say this. So instead of just like put it in my mind, I just like put my iPad beside me and just what I was thinking, I was just like saying it out loud, and it was really helpful, and it helps me a lot. So this is just a glimpse of what I usually do when I before I sleep. Like just like gather my thought. I always put my iPad beside me if the next day I have like a presentation day. Whenever I have ideas, I just wrote it there, and then sometimes I just like to record my voice, even if sometimes it feels very weird to hear you actually like your own voice, but I just have to manage to listen to what I'm saying all over again. But it's a good trick. And then the third one is know your audience. It's really important, but sometimes it's a lot of people, especially like fresh graduate people who doesn't really know how to present yet. They kind of miss this tricks, because you have to know your audience. Like usually like before doing the presentations, I always do some background check. I always do some background check of the persons or the client I'm working with, so I know what kind of positions that he has over there. I can expect what kind of questions that is going to be asked to me. So it's just one method that for me to be prepared for the presentations, and it is really helpful, because then you can make that conversations like a in between conversations before they ask you. So it's really a useful trick that you need to at least study on your audience before you do the presentations. And this is what I favor the most. This is my favorite one. Looking good can make you feel good. I think you can find the suggestions anywhere, everywhere, but for me, this is one of the most important one. Taking care of your appearance, looking good can make you feel good. Like I like to spend more time grooming myself before my speaking, my presentation day. To just like sometimes I get a haircut. For you girls out there, a manicure, eyelash extensions, just to make you feel pretty. So that is the thing that you need to a little bit boost of your self-confidence. I know that today a lot of speech or discussions mostly done virtually. It doesn't give you an excuse to not using your camera and show yourself. So this past, I think 2 or 3 months, Pauline were saying that from now on, every time we talk to our clients or to even to each other, we need to have the camera on. And I agree with that, because that's where the chemistry going on. So always be prepared and always dress or make yourself feel good when you presenting, or even just to talk to someone, or the client or fellow colleague is important. And this is also my favorite one. Release your jitters before your presentations. Adrenaline can make you feel jumpy and energetic, but before you deliver your speech, do a few jumping jacks. I like to dance around, shake out your hands. My favorite move is dance. Like I just do like roaming and then just dancing. You'll feel calmer and more in control when you face the audience. I think you should try this. This is really, really helpful. People here sometimes see me weirdly. Even like my family see me weirdly if I do the dance before my presentations. And right now since they already get used to it, they already know if I dance, that means that I'm doing a big presentations. So for those of people who doesn't like to dance, you may even want to like do some exercise in the morning of your speech to help diffuse your nervousness and access energy. And I say get in touch. The next one is get in touch with your onstage personas. Public speaking is like a performance, I say. Like you should try to get in touch with your onstage persona. I would like to share one of my stories again regarding this. I was once invited to a conference talk, attend around 80 to 100 UI UX people, talking in front of those people, knowing that I'm only a beginner in this field. Give me lots of butterfly. I hate the idea of it. All I can think of, I have to act as an expert, like I know what I'm saying, trying to find a sophisticated topic I want to bring, until I realized that the best story is the one that I truly experienced. And in the process, I discover more extrovert. I am originally a very introvert person. So I discovered a more extrovert part of myself. I don't know that it was there. Once I know that the presentations flows flawlessly, I tend to come up with lots of humors. And when I feel uncomfortable, that turns out plays as my benefit. So I'm a type of presenters that I like to make some jokes or humor around, but still keeping it balanced with professional. So all the audience turns out they enjoy of my speech, and the whole experience I ended up feeling very liberating and exhilarating instead of anxiety ridden. But well, since I'm originally a very introvert person, sometimes I get really tired at the end of my presentations. And next one is be expressive while you're speaking. If you see me from the very start until now, you see that I smile a lot. That is very important. Be expressive while you're speaking. First of all, take a deep breath first and smile. While you smile, it will cause you to feel good and transmit some conscious message to your body, and then you will feel tranquil. avoid speaking in monotone language while standing stock still if you are in offline presentations. In normal conversations, people move around a little bit, gestures with their hands. If you see me, I do a lot of gestures with my hand. So it shows how they're feeling when they're with their facial expressions. You should do this as what I am doing right now. Show your emotions to help audience relate to you. Expressions can show how confident you are, and it can change the way you speak with people. So, for example, I'm just gonna give you an example. For let's say clients come to you with a questions for those of you who are creative people. Why? Tell me, why are all the text is so big for this app? I don't understand. It's huge. And then if you answer it like, it's because it's better for, I think it's better for all people to read it. That alone, if even though the answer is correct, but the way you answer it is wrong. You have to show that you confidence, you believe that this product that you're making. Compare with this. Yes, we created the best accessible reading experience for our users, and mostly your app will be used for older people who will be mostly using this app, so easier for them to read the text. By doing that, and then don't forget to look them in the eye when you say it. By doing that, the confidence itself makes the clients believe in you, believe in what you're saying. So be expressive, show that you're passionate about what you are doing, and then when you speak, make sure that you show that confidence and you transfer that confidence to your clients or to your colleague. It's really important, instead of just like monotone way of speaking, and then lots of so yeah, this is one of the most important thing in how you communicate with other people. And the next big scary part that I still find that I learn till today, still learning till today, is the Q&A time. Most presentations involve some form of questions and answer sessions, which gives me lots of jitters. This is the part where I get the most jitters, most anxious as well. Like right now, I'm starting to master the presentations part, but the Q&A part is the most anxious I can be. So it's when the audience or client or even the Aleph developer or designers come to you, or your boss come to you and bombarded you with a lot of questions. So yes, again, speak in confidence. If you know the answer, make sure your face show confidence when you say it. My past mistake is always repeating my answers. Even if I know the answers, I tend to like not confident in what I'm saying. So that's why I tend to repeat my answer over and over again with a lot of silence moment, and it shows that I'm not sure with the answer, even though that I'm right. So the audience or your clients will know if you're not sure with your questions, with your answers, and they will bombard you with a lot more questions. If you show confidence, look them in the eye and answer it, the chance that they're doubting you with your answers will be less. So that's the first one. If you don't know the answer, the second one, then say you don't know and you'll get back to them, and don't even try to make one answer up, because then they will know that you just make the answer up. So yeah, lastly, I will just say I just want to say that this skill is something that I still learn to this day. You need to go through all the tough process to get through the good one. Practice makes perfect. If I may say that a lot of creatives, my creatives people here, designers here that I work with, I challenge them to present sometimes, to just talk to client and most of them say, I don't think I'm ready. I can't. I'm not ready yet. I don't know what to say. Hey, don't reject that huge opportunity. I don't have that before with my creative directors. So I say no one is ready. I'm sure every talk, every presentations that I will have in the futures is still going to give me goosebumps. It's still going to give me jitters and anxiety. Even I have next presentations on Monday, it gives me a lot of anxiety, a lot of jitters. But that's what makes it fun. The adrenaline rush. You have those feeling because you care about what you're saying. So just think it that way. I like to say if something comes from your heart, it will reach the heart of your audience. If you truly believe in what you're saying or what you're making, it will show in your gestures, in your expression, your confidence, and it will show it in your speech. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it by saying thank you for listening. It was an honor that I can give you all the experience that I have. That I think it's very important to all of you who experience this jitters, experience this anxiety. I hope this is gonna be helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Yuko.
Hello.
How do you feel right now after finishing the presentation?
Still the jitters.
Oh, really?
There's still some jitters, but it's an exciting jitters. It's a very exciting jitters.
Okay.
So I'm so pumped up right now, actually.
Yeah, me too, actually. But
so
then,
great.
guys, FYI, before this presentation, so actually Yuko is really doing what she said in the slide itself. Because she said that she wants to release the jitters, right? So actually, I had the video of her like dancing and singing.
No.
So actually, that tips and tricks is actually working for you, right?
Yes, it is. It is actually very working for me.
Okay. So here goes the exciting part, which is the question and answer. Okay, and if you see the YouTube comments, there are so many people ask some questions, some burning questions for you. So we can go ahead with the first one. Let me check out.
Burning questions. A burning question.
Burning questions, yeah. Because I see those are difficult questions, and sometimes I also feel that. I also experience those kind of situations, you know. Okay, for the first question, we have it from Pauline.
Okay, this is gonna be hard.
The one that you just mentioned in the slide itself. So Pauline asked during presentation when somebody is asking questions and you don't actually know the answer or you haven't prepared for that kind of question, what will you do? Is there any tips or trick?
Well, usually I will not try to be smart and answer the questions if I don't know. I rarely come up. It really comes to me, but I will just take the questions and I will talk. I will tell them to. I will just take the questions and we will learn it further and we will get back to you as soon as possible. But I think Pauline know here where sometimes most of the time in presentations, especially in a pitch, we go in a group where there is Pauline and there is me. Sometimes there's Wendy, where if some of us, if one of us doesn't know the answers, usually the other people will catch it very fast and answer the questions instead. So I'm really lucky to have a partner that we can work together in this thing. So yeah, but if I don't know the answers, sometimes I'm just gonna say I will take the answers and we will learn it further and we'll get back to you.
Okay, so being honest then. I
Yes,
mean, you just say to the
always.
clients, to the audience that actually don't know the answer.
Always,
And
because sometimes they ask the answers that they already know. They ask the questions that they already know the answers. So that's why I don't want to play smart and just rather be honest with them and said we will take the answers and learn it further. Don't say that we don't know the answer. But instead, like we take the answers and we will learn it further.
Okay. Nice tips actually. I mean being honest is something important, which is as you said before, like don't pretend that actually, play smart, but then yeah, just be honest. Agree with that. Okay. I think we can go to the next question, which is from Hari Hartas. So he asked, what are the things that you do normally for breaking the ice, especially if the session is webinar, which is, I think, it is quite difficult because you don't meet face to face with the audience. So yeah, how do you break the ice?
If it's a webinar session, sometimes I just like do an exercise with them, or if it's just like a talk thing, sometimes I ask them like a questions that ask them an experience that related to the topic that I'm bringing, or just like tell a story about my experience that most of the audience can relate. Like the first time I'm talking here, like I told the story about very bad presentations of mine, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people actually relate. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
always start with your experience, because people
Okay.
are experiencing it that way too.
Okay, so start with the personal experience, so somehow the audience can also relate to that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
maybe they also experience the same thing, right?
Mm.
Okay, thank you. And then, okay, we still have lots of questions actually, Yuko. So please hang in there, yeah. So the next question is coming from Hogan. What would you do when you're presenting some sort of high-level performance? And then what would you do as well if the few things didn't go as expectation? How do you communicate it and come up with the saving grace? When something like goes unexpected, yeah, sometimes, you prepared it for it already, but then something it just doesn't go well. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to answer this, but usually I will, when things go bad, don't show it in your expressions. Like not things go bad lah, but sometimes when you present it, you get this nervousness that you cannot deny, and then you just somehow stop in the middle. That's what I experienced before. But instead of thinking all the bad things and stop, usually like I just go to the next page at the next slides and just let it flow. And in the middle, like I try to not making a jokes, but like tell something that is related to the story instead. I don't know how to explain it, but when it can happen sometimes, but when you are at the moment, usually like you know what to do. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you sometimes you just know what to do. But again, luckily, those things rarely happen to me, because yeah, I get a very, very good partner, Pauline and Lian Gilroy, where they can, they can see when I'm having a hard time, and they can just jump usually.
Yeah, so they are ready to back up, right?
Yes. I think one of the things is the support system is really really, really helpful. So,
I see. Okay. But then you said there are some support system, right, who are supporting you during the presentation itself. But then if that case is you have to presenting alone, right? And then this case is happening to you. Yeah, what will you do?
I try to be calm and try to, in your mind, you try to think fast what is the next step that you need to do. Maybe just like turn to the next slides and just let it flow. Yeah, that's most of the time that that I'm gonna do.
Okay, I see.
It's hard to explain.
Inhale, exhale, right?
Inhale, because like when I do meditate in the morning, I usually come up with these scenarios and how can I answer if there's questions like this. Yeah, so usually it's something that is really helpful to me.
Okay, meditation, right.
I don't say that
Keep
meditation
your
is
mind
really hard, but yeah,
keep your mind peaceful
yeah,
before the
yeah,
meditation,
yeah,
and then after that, dancing again.
yeah. That is
Okay,
the
well,
most important.
that's called balance, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next question. This is from William, our academy member.
Oh,
He
okay.
also has some burning questions, and then he is asking if some people inject personality into their presentation, which is actually it is not part of their character, but then the purpose is to sell the ideas.
Mm.
What is your opinion about this?
I actually love that. I think in terms of characters, I myself, I have to say that I'm not an extrovert person, but when I present or when I do like conference or webinar, people think that I'm very extrovert person. That it's just a character that I'm another characters of mine that I'm bringing out, because I know that if I become an introvert and just like showing in my expressions, people will see me awkwardly. So I tend to bring out my extrovert versions of mine, which I'm not really comfortable sometimes, but
Okay.
I get adapt to it. But I love how I love to inject personality into the presentations. Maybe if I have to like tell a story where we are presenting for Bayou projects that we are doing, and then at that time we always do like a formal presentations where like we show the products that we are creating. But at that time we were thinking, like me and the team, we were like, why don't we just do a skit instead? Like it presenting with all this with formal with Bayou audience is kind of it's gonna get boring. So we do a skit where like I show myself as a shopping girl, where
Okay.
like you know
But you are
I brought,
actually right.
no,
I
I
mean,
brought
that's
up
not the persona.
no
I
no
mean,
no
you're
no
actually
it's not my
shopping girl,
persona,
right? Oh
no.
no. Okay.
I brought up my female side of me more.
Okay.
And then it actually sell the product. We actually like sell the ideas really really well at that time. And then I think I have to say that it is one of the best presentations sessions that we have, and we kind of like adding another level of our how do I say, quality in presentations, and I kind of enjoy it. So yeah, bringing out other personas of you while you're presenting, it is where it is not your characters, is I'm actually very supporting of it. So
Okay. So,
it's fun, you get to know like, oh, you have this kind of character actually. But
okay.
yeah, so
So
it's
you
fun.
did enjoying your role play, I can say, as a, shopping girl.
Yes,
Okay.
it's tiring
It's
but
tiring. Okay.
it's worth it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully it answers the question from William. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And then the next question is coming from Cindy. When you have an impromptu questions and you are actually not prepared for that, I mean to answer that, how do you respond? And then, while at the same time, you still have to be fearless and then be less intimidated by that.
Yeah, as I've mentioned before, usually I will just say, I don't know, but I'm gonna take the questions and
Okay.
I'm gonna learn about it more, and then we'll get back to you. But say it confidently, not like,
Okay. With a
um,
fierce face and
yes,
then,
yes, yes. Thank you
okay,
so much
full
for
of
the questions.
confidence.
It is a very
Okay.
good questions. I'm gonna take it and then I'm gonna learn it further, and I'm gonna get back to you
Hmm.
for sure. If you say it like that,
I
then
see.
the client will be like, oh, okay, okay. But if you answer like, um, actually, I'll get back to you, sir. But then it will raise more questions. So it's about your expressions. So especially when you're doing this virtually,
Okay.
you get that benefit where you can show your expressions, where you don't have to
Hmm.
show your body, and you just need to be confident here.
I see. Hopefully, we do look confident, yeah, right here.
Yes, yes. I think
Okay, but then I think I have to agree on your answer, Yuko. As in, you said something related to when you actually don't know the answer, but then you have to give the compliment. I mean, to the person who asked that question. I mean, it's something
yes,
like, yeah, actually, that is a good
it is very
question, but
fun.
then, yeah, I think I have to, get back to you related to the answer or something like that. I mean, I think it still gives, a compliment for that person as well, and then yeah, and still being fierce at the same time and confident. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, thank you. Okay, and then the next question is coming from Clara. Okay, so when you are presenting something, do you actually bring some notes on your hand,
Oh,
iPad, or everything? I mean, yeah.
yes, yes. I do bring
Hmm.
notes. Even this presentations, this academy over here, I do bring notes on my iPad, and I have like, presented notes on my
Okay.
iPad and on my
Yeah.
iPad. So Um, different people have different kind of way out, but mine's definitely a note that I
Hmm.
always have, because sometimes like when you are nervous, you sometimes forget what to say. That's where the notes came in, but not like exactly what you're gonna say. Usually, like
Hmm.
I have a pointer. Okay, I
Mhm.
have to I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this.
Okay, so that is actually
Always.
something that you recommend
Yeah.
for someone that who is going to present, at least like some big ideas and main points of your
Yes.
presentation.
Yes.
Okay, agree with that because I also do the same.
Mm.
I have my own notes here actually, guys. Okay, thank you. And then the next question is about in the COVID era, how is doing presentation or talks in Zoom different? Is there any tips and trick, and what should we be concerned about? I mean, talking about some virtual presentations, yeah, is there any difference in preparing that, or yeah, the tips and tricks?
Um, for challenge, your concern is usually when you do Zoom meeting or presentations, other people have second call,
Okay.
third call. Usually, if it's a meeting, they barely come with questions. If it's like a workshop, I've done a lot of workshop, not quite
Okay.
quite some workshop online with Zoom, and then the biggest challenge is people are rarely asking questions because they have other things, that we
Hmm.
cannot see. Where workshop,
Okay.
when we have workshop in a room, usually like that's where their presence, they don't have anything to do. So um, if it's in a Zoom, usually like here we always turn our camera on, as the audience also to turn their
Yeah.
camera on, and then just show your excitement, just show your passions, through your expressions, like doing smiling, and then this hand gesture showing that you're passionate about what you're saying. Usually, yeah, by just the tone of your voice,
Hmm.
you have to think about the tone of your voice when you sing it. Sometimes you should speak slower. Yeah, I think
I
that
see.
is the biggest challenge, and how
Okay.
usually I cope with it.
Okay. So there are two main important things. The first one is, make sure that you have a friendly tone voice, and then also make sure that you are actually, turning on your camera because yes, so people will know and will see your actually face expression when you're actually presenting something, right? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And then because of the limited of time, actually we have the last question, and this is again from Pauline.
Yay, abang!
Yay!
It's
See,
gonna be
she's so
hard. I
happy
don't.
right now. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have a feeling it's gonna be the last hardest question.
I chose the most difficult one for you. Don't worry. I mean, this
Okay.
is for a good closing, right?
Okay, the jitter's coming back. Okay.
Do you have any experience to present a material that you are not confident with? If yes, how do you cope with that?
Uh, I no, I don't. Mm, no, ever since I was in Aleph, usually like I was presenting the things that I'm familiar with. But if there is a chance that I'm gonna presenting someone else, then I'd rather I either come to the persons and tell them how to tell the stories, and actually learn it overnight, like learn it really, really well. What I'm gonna try to say, and usually I like to tell. I like to present it as a story. Usually, that's how I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I think lucky enough. I guess I've never had that kind of situations. Usually, I presenting. I present the things that I make. Usually more on the creative sides, where yeah, Pauline and Gilroy usually take it on the creds and the technical sides. But if I will have that in the future, then that means I will really, really start study it overnight and ask the guy who made the deck to present it to me, so I know how to present.
I see. So actually, preparation and also rehearsal are the
Yes,
keys.
yes.
So that won't happen. I mean, preventing, right? Preventing it to happen. Okay. Thank you, Yuko. And because of the limited time, I guess that was the last question that we have for today. Appreciate for all of the questions that are coming in. Once again, thank you so much, Yuko, for the amazing presentation. It obviously helped us to get some insights on how to speak fearlessly by first one, embracing our anxiety, learning how to conquer that and making it as our fuel. And then second one is about to know and understand your audience. And lastly, it's also important to prepare yourself, grooming yourself so you'll be more relaxed, looking good and more expressive by the time you're speaking and presenting something. And besides that, thank you so much for all of you who are watching this academy session. And a little bit of sneak peek for the next surprise. We're going to have Roy as our next speaker for the next month's session. And if you do have any inquiries, you can kindly reach out to academy@alephacademy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the like button below. We'll see you again next month. See you and have a nice Friday.